Popping into the store is always really quite fun. And there is also a lot of gems there. Today, of course, we are going to be testing out a camera. And we're going to be doing this again and again when something interesting comes in. Today is probably one of the most legendary little compacts ever. But without further ado, let's get back to the Ferbmeister.
Oh, it's art, it's sculpture, it's... What is it?
The latest Olympus, the MJU.
Oh, the MJU.
Actually just nicked another camera from our used section, and it's the smallest 35mm compact camera you can get.
You're with the press!
I'm just a tourist.
Explain this.
Just an Olympus for simple snapshot.
Now, back when this was originally created, it was only really around £40 to actually buy. It's this little one right here. It's the Olympus MJU II. Now, when I was originally coming up with the idea to shoot this today, I was debating whether I should bring out a Ash Ketchum outfit. Granted, I'll be a slightly larger Ash Ketchum.
Alright, spill the beans. Do you take me for an idiot? Everybody knows that Olympus is camera professional photographers use for personal snapshots. Enough? Succeeded.
But this camera is absolutely beautiful. What it does is effectively just allow you to do photography because it's purely automatic, and it's got a lovely 35mm f2.8 lens, and for once one of these old-fashioned film cameras is actually younger than me. And of course, with it being younger than me, it was made in 1997 or released in 1997. But you know, perhaps one of the most interesting cameras I think most photographers actually need to have, or most film fans need to have inside of their bag at any given time, because it's pretty much this nice little like sidekick camera. Hey, I want to take a film photo, and yeah. But it's a nice little design, really designed to be super compact. A brilliant camera for you to be able to take to family occasions and get some amazing photos. It has, of course, gained popularity recently because of its nice small form factor, but also when it comes to this particular model, it has a super sharp lens to it. And later on in the video, if you manage to get to the end, I'm going to be going over some other photos actually taken with it in a little bit more detail. Just talk about my method, what I was thinking about when I was taking the photos, and ultimately what I really enjoyed about the camera. We're going to be shooting a 400 ASA film. As usual, I do tend to choose Ultramax because it's the one that I can really justify the most just going out today and shooting with. But overall, it is actually just quite a fun little camera. It has got a 35mm, so I know roughly what things will be in the shot and what I can actually take photos. When it comes to shooting sort of a little bit kind of more discreetly without going looking down the viewfinder, you just got to really think about your field of view and what you're actually shooting at any given time. Of course, because this is a film camera, it's not as easy to guarantee you're getting the shots that you're actually looking for. For example, we have this guy right here, popping over the camera thing, especially from here. I know roughly he's going to be exposed, the lines are going to be somewhat correct. There's some pretty cool things. What's really quite nice about the MJU II is it's, like I said, nice and small. It's also relatively silent. The only thing that I find a little bit frustrating about it is whenever I have to turn it on and then have to deactivate the flash. So I'm going to take a photo of this now and actually compare it to the Rarity 35 AF that I tested in the last video, because it's the same kind of shot. And if we position it, then we'll do a portrait. The Rarity 35 video shall be out soon, but which one do you think is the photo from the MJU II, and which one do you reckon is the photo from the Rarity 35 AF? You probably guessed correctly in the fact that it is actually the one on the left, the one from the Rarity 35 AF. See, it's a little bit darker. Now, I did appreciate having the control over the exposure. However, with these kind of cameras, I really just like taking the photo and what's really great about the MJU II is that you can just click and completely forget about it. And you know you've got a photo that's gonna be good. What I find absolutely crazy about things like this is the technology has just really been lost to be able to create this crazy powerful film camera. And although people have been trying to do it, for example, Pentax 17, Rarity AF with these new generation film cameras. Here I noticed some really good lighting inside of a barbershop and I took the photo a little bit more discreetly. Just kind of wanted to show that before we talk a bit more. Just a little bit lost to time essentially. And I just took a photo of somebody in the barbershop and it just looked quite good. I'm now 14 shots down and looking to get some more. The reason why I use the Osmo Pocket as well as this is because you get a nicer looking shot out of this, but this just allows me to walk around and talk, and I just like walking around and talking essentially. It's one of my favourite things to do. And opposed to a lot of the other cameras that I've done videos with of recent time, this nobody really pays attention to because it's just really kind of incognito. And sometimes incognito is where you want to be. Now, these cameras are continually getting rarer and rarer. This is mainly because of the fact that they are plastic construction and approaching nearly 30 years old now, which means more and more of them are breaking, but the fan base is ever expanding, and it's a shame to see so many cameras not go back to work in order and can get them fixed. We just so happen to have 2 used ones in the store at the moment that you can check out online as well if you are interested. MJUs are one of those cameras which every budding film photographer absolutely wants to have in their bag because they're just excellent. You can get so much with it, and it's kind of what you want anyway. So the other thing that I was actually quite surprised to find out about the camera is that it's actually supposedly splash proof. Now that is something I'm personally not going to try out, but it's nice to know that you might be able to get it a little bit wet. Although don't, because they are getting rarer. The cam just weighs 135 grams all in all without the battery, and the dimensions of it is 108 by 59 by 35 millimeters, which just makes it one of the most pocketable 35mm cameras that you can just click, forget, and just enjoy doing things like street photography. Or if you want to take it to family occasions, it would work out quite well. I think I'm liking this shot up here at the moment, which is of the flags. Let's see them go up. It's a camera that I've always personally wanted, and this particular one's £249, which, when you consider, like I said earlier, the originals were just £40. And it's a camera that I do talk about quite a bit when it comes to like cameras that I'm generally a fan of. In particular, I did actually talk to my family member who was actually into photography. She entirely forgot that she actually had one of these up in the attic somewhere. And that's what's going to be interesting about the future of these cameras, is people are going to find them in weird and wonderful places. And because it doesn't look like it's worth that much, I think a lot of them might even get discarded. But if you find one, you've got an absolutely beautiful film camera there that is just simple. Is just simple in its makeup. Does what you need it to, without any of the fluff. There's no AI here. It's just a camera that allows you to have a good time. And sometimes having a good time is what it's really worth after everything. The art of street photography, or just going out and taking some images, doesn't mean you're always going to be able to capture the best images possible. And this is something which I believe is really good for you to see as well. Sometimes I just pick the photos that I really like to show, but a lot of these photos didn't necessarily come out as I envisioned them. The camera performed really well for the most part, but in some situations I wish I actually used that fill flash, because some shots may have come out a little bit blurry here and there, and although I had high hopes for the images, it didn't necessarily mean I always managed to achieve what I wanted to get out of them. Going forward, I managed to capture a number of really good images, and for the most part I was just singing and dancing just a little bit. When it comes to trying to compose images or find the right sort of like rule of thirds, you got to wait for the moment. Street photography is mainly about patience here. Thinking and trying to put attention to what you're taking photos of. Like using the crowd to make the shot look a little bit busier. Singling out a subject to make them really stand out. And, you know, still have a little bit of fun. Yes, I do dance. I am a very big oaf. And, well, I just enjoy taking photos. Noticing this vehicle here, it's kind of retro, it looked really quite cool, but I wanted to get a nice low down shot so I've got a bit more of the
We're at 31 shots now.
So photography and going out and doing it, I think, can really help out with your fitness. Because I've been shooting so much recently due to a holiday that I've got next week, a lot of people said I've even lost a little bit of weight whilst shooting. Now, I don't necessarily know if that's the case, but having that sort of like fitness aspect to actually doing photography has helped me kind of like realise walking further or looking at things differently, trying to capture as much as possible, allows me to get some really cool shots.
And that is a duck. Hey, ducky. No, you're good, you're good. So there are these two ducks in Cardiff that just walk through the centre. And I believe they're a couple. They're just really quite cool to see. There's one right there. That's actually. So now we're going to have to change the film. It's relatively easy to change the film. All you've got to do is make sure that it is wound back on. So there's just a simple hole on the back of the camera where you need to put something in to make sure that it just rewinds all of the film. So yeah, so far, hell of a lot of fun. Olympus MJU II, an absolutely beautiful camera. And there you go. That means all of the shots should be rolled back inside the film. So when I do this, it's absolutely safe. Well, what I really like about the camera is that it's designed to be as easy as possible to reload as well. So all you have to do is slot your film in there and just make sure that the film clinks over the top of the other ones, and fingers crossed all should be okay. And as you can see, it's getting ready for the film, and now when I turn it on, it should be zeroed out and I've got the first photo to take. This is a cool shot here, isn't it? So let's take that, shall we? The only thing that you need to make sure that you're careful with this camera is that your fingers aren't actually in the shot, as it comfortably kind of like holds like that. And I'm feeling the lens hit my finger. That's why I took two shots then. Coming to the end of the video now, I am left thinking the MJU II is absolutely beautiful, and I can see why it's so popular. The shots came out pretty sharp, and something that kind of left me thinking more and more at the end of it is kind of the difference between
shooting digital versus film. Film photography just feels more real, and there's more room for mistakes because not everything can be shot perfectly crisp, perfectly straight all of the time. But with film photography, I feel like you have a little bit more leeway, and it's in some cases even adds to the feel of the shot. Things can be out of focus because it's more about the action of that moment and that time that you have captured. But this is something I want you to let me know. I know a lot of these photos aren't perfect, but I enjoyed taking them. I think that's what really film photography does. It allows us to step away from the haphazard nature of technology and focus in on something a little bit more natural. If you have any questions, just put them in down below. Please like, follow, subscribe if you want to see more. I've been going on a little bit of a crazy content spree at the moment, just trying out some new styles, and this is one of them. So please let me know if you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please like, follow, subscribe if you want to see more. Have a good day.